And my guest this morning is actually from InvestTT, and they have actually been given the responsibility to tenant the Tamana InTech Park. And it's about to implement a tip tenancy campaign, which will actually include a combination of public relations, marketing and advertising campaigns. And the manager of investor sourcing at InvestTT is Sekou Alleyne, and he is also the senior marketing officer, or the manager rather.
No, I am the manager investor sourcing and facilitation.
There you are. So you are the
Yes,
manager.
yes.
So good morning to you and welcome.
Good morning. Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here and telling us about this, because it sounds so fascinating. How did InvestTT become involved in this? And you're actually the ones who are responsible for basically getting things together and responsible for the tenanting of Tamana Park.
Sure. So for those who don't know, InvestTT is the investment promotion agency for Trinidad and Tobago. Our mandate is to attract, facilitate, and retain investments, and so help businesses set up in Trinidad and Tobago, both foreign, regional, and local businesses. Over the past 4 years of our existence, we've been interacting, of course, in relation to our mandate with foreign and local investors in these sectors that are determined by the government. And so you would notice that a lot of those sectors are also covered, or some of those sectors are covered in the tenancy targeting campaign for Tamana InTech Park. So it made sense that InvestTT would be the marketing arm and the promotion arm for Tamana. And so that mandate has come down, and so we've taken that mandate on board and we move forward aggressively.
Running ahead with it.
Yes, we are. Yes.
Now, what is the tip tenancy campaign?
The Tamana InTech TIP is the acronym for Tamana InTech Park. Is the tenancy campaign is really a campaign to build awareness and individual targeting of investors that would benefit from locating on the park. That campaign is going to be happening, well, it's started in earnest now with the public relations and local, regional, and international marketing campaign. And what we're really going to do is be sharing with potential investors and tenants for the park the benefits to their business of locating on the technology park.
So that means that it's completed, it's just waiting for occupancy.
Phase 1 of the park is market ready, and there are 20 land lots and 154,000 square feet of office space available at the flagship building, 30,000 square feet of which is still vacant. And so yes, it is market ready. The University of Trinidad and Tobago is actually located on the park in 100 acres as well. And all of these businesses are going to be operating in harmony with the environment, as there is also an eco-friendly aspect of the park itself.
Why locate business at Tamana?
Well, that's a very good question, Ria. I'm glad you asked. So over the course of interacting with local foreign investors, there's always been a theme. Investors look for access. They look for access to appropriate real estate. They look for access to wide enough labor pool. They look for access to the infrastructure they require to deliver on their products and services. And Tamana InTech Park really provides that access. It provides access to skilled labor pool that you'll find at University of Trinidad and Tobago, which will be locating their IT campus on site. Many people do not know that Tamana is actually located in the Tunapuna-Piarco region at Wallerfield, Trinidad and Tobago, which is the most populous region in Trinidad and Tobago when you look at the statistics. So you also have access to a very large and wide labor pool. You have access to world-class infrastructure. All 20 land lots do have access to natural gas, electricity. There's in fact a TNTech substation on site delivering electricity to the site. Redundant fiber optic network, water and sewage as well, sewage treatment. And so you have access to world-class infrastructure. And not the least, your staff will have access to a traffic-free commute. Being located outside of city congestion of Port of Spain and Chaguanas, your staff will be able to be going against the traffic. And so we feel that value proposition really presents a large opportunity for local and regional international businesses.
Yeah, and you know, you say traffic, and the minute you pass that Macoya area, it's like
smooth sailing all the way, yes.
What happens? I don't know.
What happens is Tamana is at the end of that, and so everybody's headed in that direction now.
Give us some of the park features, because it's some really great things happening.
Sure. So I'll tell you exactly what's available. I've already said University of Trinidad and Tobago will be located in the IT campus. There are 20 land lots, 10 of which are about 1 acre in size, another 7 of which are between 2 acres and 2.5 acres. And then there are actually 3 larger land lots, which are 10, 13, and 21 acres. So what you look at, again, access to a very flexible space arrangement. You will be able to then plan your business footprint for the next 10 to 20 years. Those land lots are available on a 30-year lease with a renewable for another 30 years at very competitive market rates. You're looking at $3.25 US $3.25 US per square meter annually. Yeah, so that works out to about 76,000 TT dollars annually for an acre, per acre. The first 5 tenants actually get a special rate of $3 US per square foot, per square meter per acre, which works out to about 70,000 TT dollars. And so you look at very competitive market rates for access to those lots. The flagship building is a green building which is designed to have minimum impact on human health and minimum impact on the environment. There are 30,000 square feet still available in the flagship building between the north and south blocks. And those facilities are available for $8 base rent per square foot TT dollars and $2 central area maintenance. So you're looking at an overall rent of $10 TT per square foot per month.
Tell us more about the green environment.
Well, the park actually has 30% of the size of the park is a reserve. It's called the Maurice Palm Reserves. So funnily enough, the Maurice Palms are indigenous only to Venezuela and Trinidad and Tobago. And they form part of the reserve on the park that will not be industrialized. The flagship building also has several features, a central area cooling system. The cooling system is actually driven from below the raised tile flooring system as well. There's sunshades on the building. There's a roof terrace on the 3rd floor that actually allows for rainwater recycling for flushing toilets, etc. For flushing the toilets.
No, I was thinking, you know, this is so innovative, and the cost of, is it costly or?
It is an investment in the protection of the environment, and what that does then is lower the energy cost of the building itself, and so tenants will actually find that their utility bills will be lower because of these environmentally conservative options.
That's fantastic. The green environment that you were talking about with the trees and everything, is that going to be developed like an environmental park, or?
Well, it is a reserve, so there's not going to be any intensive development on that part of the park at all, and there is actually access for tourists or visitors who would want to visit that park. There are many indigenous species of birds that locate on the park as well, and so it would be developed more as a tourist attraction as opposed to any type of industrial development whatsoever.
What type of businesses are you targeting? You say UTT is already there.
Right, so UTT is there with the IT campus, and we'll be aligning their programs with the businesses that we're looking for. We're looking at IT services businesses, software development firms, animation firms, so that alignment between the creative sector as well as the IT sector. We're looking for data processing firms. Trinidad's very low cost of energy and IT infrastructure makes it a great location for data processing centers. We're looking for high-value manufacturing firms. And we are also looking for back-end processing on financial services firms, as well as overall back office processing. The park actually does have a BPO tenant, an ICOR, which is an international business process outsourcing firm with 17 locations across the globe. The 18th location is at Tamana InTech Park in Trinidad and Tobago. And they've located just about 18 months ago at Tamana, looking to get to about 100 agents. They've now grown to 700 agents. So they've been able to achieve their expansion goals on the park with the support of InvestTT and the landlord, which is eTech, who's also a tenant on the park. And so you have that on-site support for the tenants, which is another feature, very different feature of this park than other parks across the country.
Why target this sort of business? Because you talk about software development, ICT, business process, animation, all these different types of things. Why these specific types of businesses?
All globally growing businesses, not just global, but also regional. A lot of competition in those businesses, but a lot of ability to really look at growing a sector that is not related to the oil and gas sector. And so given the economic environment now, it really gives us an opportunity to generate foreign exchange generating employment. And so we look at these industries because it is the future. They are growing. They've grown well in the past, and we're looking for Trinidad and Tobago to be a part of that growth.
Okay. Now, how can one get leased, come to you and say, listen, I want to lease a certain area of the park?
Well, they can come to InvestTT. They can come to myself. The InvestTT email, you can get us at info@investtt.co.tt. That's info@investtt.co.tt. Or you can go to the website, www.tamana.com, and there is a link on there that you can also request information. Or you can contact myself, Sekou.Alleyne@investtt.co.tt.
Now, it's ready for a lease of 20 land lots
Correct.
and 29,848 square feet of
Yes.
office space.
Yes.
Is it going to increase from that, or is that what is going to...
That is phase one of the park.
Okay.
Right? And so we're going to look at a substantive substantive uptake of tenancies before we start developing the phase two of the park. It is 1,100 acres overall, and so there's a phase two of the park to be developed. What we're focused on right now is making sure that we develop that critical mass or build that critical mass around phase one of the park.
Now, we were seeing some pictures of what it looked like. It was a built-up type area.
Sure.
Is that what it is? And we're seeing, you know, some pictures of that as well. Is it built up, or is it that buildings have to go up on that area?
Well, the
'Cause I'm trying to
flagship,
visualize it.
right? So the flagship building is complete.
Is right.
Right. So that's grade A office space with all the elements that I mentioned earlier. The utilities building that generates all the power for the flagship building is also complete. The landlords have completed underground infrastructure into each of the landlots. The natural gas, ICT,
everything's
electricity.
been laid.
It's been laid on the ground and it terminates at the front of the lot. The tenant then is free to redistribute based on their footprint within the lot itself. And so those 20 land lots are ready to go now. Again, there's an incentive for the first 5 tenants. And we are already talking to people. We've been very aggressive, and so it makes sense to move now because they are market ready.
Now, you are focused more on these developing issues, ICT, software development,
Sure.
and financial services and that type of thing. Are you open to other tenants as well?
We have received a mandate to focus on that area, given the fact that the park is a science and technology park. Now, keeping in mind, when we say ICT, there are many different subsectors of businesses or niches within the ICT space that fall under those. In fact, software development and business process outsourcing are 2 of those subsectors of ICT. And so we are not looking to create barriers. What we're looking to do is create opportunities for IT and technology-related businesses.
All right. So tell me again, why should I bring my business to Tamana InTech Park?
Access to world-class infrastructure, access to a skilled labor pool, access for your staff to a traffic-free commute, access to very competitive market rates, and access to incentives for those who move now.
And I particularly like, and you forgot to mention that, the green environment.
And the green environment, I apologize.
Most
Yes, the green
important.
environment, harmony with the environment. Yes, correct.
And so you said it's open to tourists as well. So is that, because it's separate and apart from so is that going to be a separate entity where tourists can go, or they can
That
visit
is
the whole area?
primarily the Maurice Palm Reserve, and that can be done through a request to ETech.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's open, local,
Sure.
foreign tourists as
Sure.
well. All right. And how do we get in touch with you again if we want to start our business in Tamana?
You can email us at info@investtt.co.tt. You can go to the website www.tamanna.com, and it would also be remiss of me to say that we actually have a booth at the Trade and Investment Convention, which is at the Center of Excellence today, tomorrow, and Saturday. We have a booth there. We've set up presentations on the park at 1:30 and 3:30 this afternoon. There will be presentations tomorrow at 11 a.m. and 1:30. And throughout the days, on both days, you will have access to InvestTT's investment officers. I will also be there for part of the time. So you will be able to ask information, set up B2B meetings. We can set up site visits for the park. So full access at the Trade and Investment Convention over the next 3 days.
Okay. So you said that there will be things happening at the park itself?
No, at the Center of Excellence, the Trade and Investment Convention.
So only there, and
we will have a booth there,
Right.
And we'll be available to answer questions. There will
Right.
be presentations we'll
Okay.
be making at the booth at the times I just mentioned, and we will also have investment officers there available for
There,
meetings
okay,
and
right.
conversations on the park.
yeah. But if business people need to get to the park, of course they need to make an appointment.
Right, and
go
again,
view.
yes, they can make an appointment, and again through info@investtt.co.tt or tamanna.com.
But you know, this is a good time to do it because, I mean, the first 5, they're actually going to get a little discount
They
on the
are,
rates.
yes.
And not only that, they get to choose where they
Exactly,
want to be.
exactly. And those 20 landlords have there's so many different variations. They can put together 2 1-acre lots, they can do a 2-acre lot, etc. So yes, it really makes sense to move now.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for
Thank you,
coming and
sir.
letting us know
Thank you very
about
much,
this.
Ria. Thanks for having me.
It's been a pleasure. It's still shining out for me, the environmental
Sure,
part
of
of
course,
it, the
extremely
aspect of it.
important.
Yeah, so thank you for that one especially, and especially in that area.
Yes.
You know, you're going down Manzanar, it's one of those areas you meet up. So thank
Right.
you so much. Mr. Sekou Alleyne, Manager of Investor Sourcing, InvestTT. So it's a great investment, I tell you. So if you are in the business of ICT, if you're in financial services, if you are also doing things like trying to find all this. So much paper, Liron. Software development, animation, business process outsourcing, high-value manufacturing and assembly. This is the area for you, brand new, and very good rates as well. So check it out, okay? So thank you once again.
Thank you, Ria.
And all the best.